Good Tuesday morning. It's the main event. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, and you guys know him as 17-year NFL veteran, three-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys. Now, before I introduce him through his name and all of that stuff, all I'm going to say is buckle up for his getting back on that bandwagon. He was clawing on there. He broke his ankles jumping off the bandwagon yesterday after that weekend series. Let's just see how far up that bandwagon he's clawed back up on as well. Dale Hellestrae here, everybody.
Good morning, Steve. And I don't even remember yesterday, so I don't know what you're talking about. Broke my ankles jumping off and pulled a hamstring trying to get back on.
You and everybody else after last night's game.
What a game. What a way to start the week. Your beloved Dodgers come to town and go home hurting.
I've never been a Dodgers fan at all. I've always hated them.
Yeah.
Even before the Diamondbacks were around and stuff to that. But, fantastic game last night. The worst part of it, we'll get into this coming up later on. I just want to say the worst part of it, Dale, and this is what I love about doing what we do. This is why I love it. I'm sitting here going, Ketel Marte over in that series, and he doesn't step up in big moments. Never does it. You pay him to step up in these big moments. Well, he listened, took it to heart yesterday, and gets those. Insurance runs is what he got, but that was a big moment to get insurance runs yesterday, and that's why I love what we do. We can literally say something that is true yesterday and get shown up literally hours later. And that's what I love about what we do.
Yes. Well, if you get into this business expecting to be right all the time, you're in the wrong business.
And most people wouldn't even bring it up today. They'd be like, well, I was wrong. They'd be all mad about it, right? But I was just sitting there last night, Dale, going, of course. Of course. The guys we've been bashing are the guys that, the guys that need to step up. They need to be leaders. I'm disappointed they're not more leaders. And then last night, you're just sitting there and I was slow clapping in my living room.
Really, really, really nice job. But again, I guess the only disappointing thing is E-Rod goes 6 innings, doesn't get the win.
I hate that, man. He just wasted. I hate it.
1 run given up. His ERA is now down to 2.24, and he doesn't get the win.
I hate that about pitchers and how that works out for him and stuff. I literally bothers me.
Yes.
Diamondbacks did it back when Randy Johnson was pitching here. He'd give up 1 run and he'd lose 1-0.
Yep.
And it's just these guys are pitching so well out there to see it happen. We'll get into the Diamondbacks, but I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight, man, because you're right. A lot of people wouldn't even bring it up today, that they were saying all that stuff about them and what they did last night. But I, on the other hand, find it funny. It's just doing this job can be a humbling experience at times and stuff. It is fun to deal with and all of that stuff as well. We have a championship series starting today, Dale. We're going to make our prediction coming up here in just a little bit. Knights in Carolina battling it out. I've made my decision on who's going to win. And I had to take it took me a while to get the personal side out of it here. And everything, but I broken it down. I went line by line. I went goaltender to goaltender. We'll do our predictions here coming up. Starts tonight as well. We have another day to wait here for the NBA. We'll make our picks tomorrow, but I think we've already made it. You and I both before the Western and Eastern Conference, we said it was going to be Thunder Knicks in that series. I think we know who we're going with. I don't just substitute the Thunder for who beat them, I guess. But we'll do our official picks tomorrow on the NBA side. And I'm just trying to figure out, the thing I have left to figure out is how many games this is going to end. I know you're high on the Knicks, Dale. I know that. We'll have to talk about that and hash that out a little bit coming up as well as that gets underway tomorrow on the NBA side. We'll get you updated on college baseball. Super regionals are ready to be started this weekend. We'll give you those matchups because if I would have given you $1 and said, just $1 and said, pick your regional matchups, and stuff, and giving you odds on it, none of you would have come up with what mostly we got here this week. It's ridiculous. This is what's so amazing about the parody of sports these days.
Well, it's interesting to me.
Stuff.
I thought I saw a blurb from Sweet Lou, Uncle Lou, that.
Yeah, it's changing. Its name's changed a long time ago. Dale.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Old habits are hard to break.
Well, you're going to be with them all day Thursday. Don't forget Dale and Uncle Lou Thursday.
I'll just call him Lewis. I thought I saw somewhere he said that this will be the first year that there hasn't been one team that made the World Series last
all
year.
8 teams
will be
not,
new.
Yep, all 8 teams are new, no matter what happens.
Wow. That's crazy.
And several of them that made the College World Series, including Arizona, didn't even make the tournament this year.
Wow.
I think it was 3 didn't even make the tournament. And then
3
everybody
of the
else
8.
Yeah, and everybody else has been it was 2 or 3. And then the other one's eliminated in the regional round as well. Yeah, isn't that amazing? There's nothing but parity out there in college baseball. Did you see this is also what I love about college baseball. West Virginia wins yesterday, and you had the whole stadium there because they were at their home stadium, and the whole stadium singing "Country Roads."
Oh yeah!
Oh my God, 50, whatever it was, 20,000, 30,000 people, 40,000 people there, all singing "Country Roads" afterwards because they won that regional. It was fantastic.
Well, there's excuse me.
Yeah, you're right there.
There's a couple football stands, like at Penn State, between the third and fourth quarter, they sing "Sweet Caroline."
Yes,
and it's not one of my favorite songs, but to hear 110,000 people sing it,
I know.
It's pretty cool.
Virginia Tech does "Enter Sandman" when they come out, and that stadium just rocks. Florida does Tom Petty songs.
Alabama does "Sweet Home Alabama."
Oh, that's right. Yeah. No, there's something about that. Just sit back and it just rocks out, and it is amazing to see. And just the baseball players just lined up on the line, and it just listen to that.
The one that I always got worried about was Wisconsin did the jump around.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And literally sitting in the press box. I mean, the stadium was built like in 1936.
That's an old stadium.
And you literally feel it rocking. And I'm like, what are these days? What are these days?
Especially how old it is, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I've been that Broncos Stadium, which is now whatever it's called now, Empower or Mile High or whatever. But when it was fairly new, I used to go to games there and stuff, like when Jake Plummer was playing for the Broncos and stuff, and we'd sit upper lower level there, and just in the middle of that they did this stomping thing, and I'm like, this stadium's new and it's moving like it's gonna go down here.
Right.
Always gives you that unsettling. I couldn't imagine being in one so old and being that high up there. Well, they renovated it. It's probably safe.
Yeah, they didn't renovate the press box much.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm more comfortable being in a building from 1930 built because it was probably built right than I am the renovations afterwards.
Ooh, okay.
I ain't gonna lie to you there. And I'm probably like, what's the oldest part of this building? Let me go stand there. Because construction standards aren't what they used to be.
Well, and I know we're going to be bouncing around, then we'll settle down on topics. But boy, I heard your Cardinals were on the phone, busy yesterday, trying to go some way to get the best player in football. And I hear that Monte Osfor was going to sell the farm, and Myles Garrett decided I'd rather go to the Rams. I don't know why.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Myles Garrett continues to show. Just how ridiculous
how
he is.
Cleveland's affected him so much.
Exactly. That is the most disgusting trade ever. Like, I'm still disgusted by it. Just disgusted.
We'll tell people they maybe did not hear about it yesterday.
I'm still disgusted by it, Dale. Like, I don't even want to talk about it. I'm so disgusted by it. I'll just say this before we tell you what officially went down in that trade. But there are teams that want to win and just go do what's necessary, and there are teams that don't and argue with their 1-11 starting quarterback.
If Brissett was in camp and he was getting paid okay and everything was going fine, that would be one thing. But you got arguably the best team in your division.
Yeah. Well,
Getting better.
They're better than Seattle now, I think, right?
Getting better. And you go, you know what? Not only that, but we can't get our quarterback being the Cardinals, our 1-11 quarterback to show up.
Yeah. Well, mandatory is coming up, I think, the 8th through the 10th. That'll be the tell right there. But he ain't showing up without a deal. Well, just put your money in it there. But this is what makes me nauseous. The Rams have no draft picks. Like this year was like their first draft pick year in a long time because they trade them all away. They lose Sam Darnold. I talk about this with the Niners all the time. Let's put this in context. The Niners literally made the worst quarterback decision on the planet. They went and got Jimmy Garoppolo, who looked like he was going to be a stud. Turns out he likes adult stars and stuff like that more than football. And that turned out to be a disaster for them. It wasn't working out. And then they go out and make the worst, now not financially worse, but in terms of talent, the worst trade up to go get. Now, they didn't want him. They got stuck with him because they only traded to the 3rd spot.
Which was dominant of itself.
Right? Because you couldn't get one of the 2 guys you wanted at number 3. And they go and get him. I don't even remember the guy's name anymore. I want to say Trey Young, but that's not it. Trey Lance, right? So they go and get him. And it's a monumental mistake. The guy has 0 talent, not very good, blah, blah, blah. And then they just happened in that draft and the last pick to take a guy that now they all claim they saw as genius. Oh, in training camp, we all saw he was going to eventually be the starter and lead them to a Super Bowl. They all claim that now, folks. Hogwash. Hogwash. Don't believe it. But they literally just trip into and just get lucky and get the kid that can come out and win with that team and be a good player in Brock Purdy. So you got that luck in our division. Then you go and you get the luck of the Rams. Not even the luck. It's just what they do. The Rams lost because he retired one of the best defensive linemen of all time.
Aaron Donald.
And we're all like, woo, thank God. And they went and drafted a guy named Jared Verse, who's pretty dang good at that position as well. And we're just sitting here these last couple of years going, they got a Jared Verse just sitting there. They just fill it with another guy, whatever. And then the Rams went, you know what? We can still improve this position. And we can take a really, really good defensive lineman, and we can turn him into one of the all-time greats in Myles Garrett. And I'm sorry, if you're an all-time great in Cleveland, imagine what you're going to do with talent around you in Los Angeles. And the Rams literally went and got generational talent yesterday. The Cardinals are fighting with Jacoby Brissett over significant money differences. It just goes to show you the difference between loser mentality organizations and ones that don't settle. They had Jared Verse, Dale. They could have settled with him and just been like, we're good enough on the defensive line. Our defensive line's good. And they went, you know what, we need to go improve this. And they went and got a generational talent guy. And the Cardinals are turning down 4th-round draft pick offers for Josh Sweat.
Well, a couple things jump out to me. Number one.
It's depressing.
It's not like the Rams first go around. Now, what allows them to do some of this stuff is in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, they've drafted really good football players.
That's why they don't need first round.
The 2nd, 3rd, 4th rounder, they become really good football players.
Yep.
Myles Garrett is only 30.
Yeah.
I thought he was like early 32, 30.
Prime of 30. His career, Dale. Prime of his career.
He signed through 2030. There's be no, and he's going to be much happier in L.A. than he is in Cleveland.
Yes.
And they've done this thing one time before when they had Jared Goff.
This is what's nauseating.
They went to the playoffs. They were a good football team, but they wanted to be better.
They could have settled with Jared Goff and had success with him.
Yes.
And they looked at it and went, we can go get a generational talent guy from a losing team.
Yeah, and maybe win a Super Bowl. And they did.
Yeah. And the Cardinals are arguing with Jacoby Brissett.
That's what sucks so bad is the fact that it's like they're 6-hour drive away. They're in your division.
I'm becoming a Rams fan.
You have to.
I've hated the Rams my whole life, and I'm just going to become a Rams fan.
You have to play them twice a year, and it's like, really. And remember, in the NFL, guys, there's a salary cap. This isn't like the Rams becoming the Los Angeles Dodgers and say, you know what, we're bringing.
Remember when Sam Darnold
in?
Remember when Sam Darnold retired? They had to pull back because they were hitting that. Their credit card was coming due. Let's say, so they had to cut back, and then they went and got Puka. And all these other guys that become stars.
Yeah. That's your team now.
It literally I thought this kidney stone was going to be the death of me. It's apparently going to be the Cardinals. It just can't be more sick about this at all. Not that the Cardinals could go get Garrett. We know that's not a possibility because what they give up, and that's the thing. It's not like the Rams they gave up on Jared Verse, who the Rams, even the Browns aren't. I love it when guys are traded, first of all, and then the GM has to come out and be like, oh, we planned on him being part of our team forever. Well, obviously not if you traded him. Clowns. Quit saying that stuff. So it's Jared Verse, a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and a third-round pick. It's not the Rams went and said, and the Cardinals are arguing over a few $1 million with their 1-11 quarterback. And they're not even in the hunt to be in third place in this division. And they're arguing over what accounts to NFL pennies. And the Rams are like, here you go. Give us our generational talent. We'll figure it out later. And the Cardinals are literally arguing over nothing. This is what makes you nauseous here in Arizona. Team is I can't. Michael Bidwell needs to pay for another Hall of Fame trophy to make himself feel better after this. It's just nauseous, man. It's just nauseating. It's disgusting. I don't know what else to say. It's just nauseating. Robert said, hey. The cards aren't made of money. Lifts for your shoes are expensive. Does Bidwell have I know he's short. Does he have lifts?
That's one question I don't need to know the answer. Although I guess it wouldn't surprise me.
No, would it surprise? He probably has shoulder pads too to make his shoulders look bigger.
Wow.
And stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think the Cardinals? I should reach out to my ticket guy today and be like, "Hey, man, are you having to stand and get his voicemail and be like, hey, when you're done standing in the hallway clapping for your genius owner, can you call me back?"
By the way, my brother got another call on Friday.
Is he signed up again?
No,
he didn't.
No, but
they're chasing him.
But he's in contact because they're in that first row, that Hall of Fame section on the goal, basically the goal line, and
second level, but right on the edge.
Yeah. 2, 4, 6. There's 8 tickets there. 4 couples.
They're all available.
And they've been there for years. Yeah. They all know each other.
Yeah.
And they all not renewing. And so they stay in touch. They say, okay, we're going to update each other when they call us.
Yeah. But they are calling them.
2 of them got called on Thursday. 2 of them got called on Friday.
They didn't pick up the phone once for me. Not once. Oh, they eventually did, but they were calling about something else. And they were like, "Hey, man, you think you left a pair of shoes here?"
Hey, you didn't pick up your nacho box when you were done.
So they are getting chased. Yeah, no, that tells you something because the Cardinals don't chase people before. That tells you people are unrenewing like crazy. People are not signing up. Your brother actually did it. I'll tell you this. Smart, because of just buy the individual games you want to go to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you can't resell them. Even if you're lower level or upper level and cheap tickets, you can't resell them for what you get them for.
No.
Nobody's interested. Maybe there might be 2 games this year, I think, that you might be able to do that on. Other than that, you're not getting your value back. And I certainly can't. That's why after this year, I'm definitely dropping 2. Now, if I stay in that section or I just go back into Gen Pop's, another story.
You mean going with the unwashed?
the Gen Pop. I'm a little nicer about it than you are.
But these guys all got together and said, why don't we just pool our money? We all throw it in and we'll tailgate at somebody's house. Because the main thing does a few of those,
tailgate.
They want tailgate.
Does this include the gentleman? I don't want to say his name. The gentleman that has tickets to like every sporting team in town. Yeah. He's not renewing.
No, he is.
Okay, but he's had them since.
But he's down to I think 4.
Yeah, he had a bunch.
Yeah, he had a bunch, and his main thing is tailgating.
He had 8 or 10,
and nobody's gonna be there to tailgate with him.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's why I stopped down. My guy, everybody I used to tailgate with stopped showing up to games and stuff. So I was like, well, no point in me just going and tailgating. It's a lot of work and stuff. So that's why I stopped tailgating out there and stuff and everything. Yeah. Arizona Cardinals.
There you go, Steven. They're your Arizona Cardinals.
I'm a Rams fan. I was joking earlier about becoming a Chargers fan just because I couldn't go for the Rams, but I can claim Rams, man. The Rams should have been my team when I was a kid. I just didn't like them.
But see, you sit here and look at it, and it's like, man, the Rams gave up a lot. Because Jared Verse had 12 sacks last year.
Yeah, and they got better.
He's going into his 3rd year.
No, this is what this is what makes me the sick. I'm not even mad. I'm just sick to my stomach about this. It's if the Cardinals trade Josh Sweat, which I do believe they will be doing coming up here, they ain't getting somebody better back.
But that's what I say. Like, if Myles Garrett, and obviously he led the league in sacks, set a record last year, and whatever you think about records and things like that. But all that the Rams gave up to get him, and the Cardinals are maybe looking at a 4th rounder for a guy who had 11 sacks.
Yeah, I think what was that? The rumor out there was
somebody offered a 4th.
Somebody offered a 4th. Yeah, I don't remember who it was. Yeah, I don't know if I don't necessarily believe that rumor, but people are calling about Josh Sweat. People are offering stuff, but obviously not enough. But yeah, and that's what's going to be amazing. Is Josh Sweat's going to get unloaded, and then we're just going to sit back and be like, the Rams unloaded Jared freaking Verse.
And got
Myles Garrett, and we unloaded Josh Sweat
for a 5th-round pick in the 2029 draft.
Yeah, which we can't draft in the 5th round very well. So awesome. Just trade him for a bunch of footballs or something. Just trade him for a bunch of footballs that Marv can drop when they hit him in the hands.
Wow. You are really salty today.
I am like sick to my stomach, folks. Like, it takes a lot for the Cardinals to do stuff because I expect them to screw stuff up.
But they didn't even do anything in this one.
This trade makes me nauseous, man. Makes me nauseous. Here's the other side, though. Then I was stupid yesterday. I go through and I'm reading all this stuff like on the trades and things to that. Let me pull this up here real quick. Let me find it on my computer. This will be nauseating.
Why do you want to relive it?
Because I want to share it with everybody. Okay. I got to find it here. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Keep in mind, the Browns, I'll even say this about the Browns. The organization that is hamstrung beyond belief because of the Deshaun Watson deal that they still are dealing with.
And none of the people that are still there had anything to do with it.
And they're hamstrung by that. Make no mistake about it. They are hamstrung by that deal to this day. Now, they didn't improve by getting rid of Myles Garrett, but they got somebody who's pretty dang good in return. Again, just go to the Browns' perspective, and then all the draft picks they got. The Cardinals are maybe a 5th, 4th round pick for Josh Sweat. And let's keep arguing with Jacoby Brissett while we're at it. The Browns look like a better organization than the Cardinals today. This is what makes you nauseous about it. And stuff like that. But here's what I was reading yesterday. The Athletic. Respected. They know this stuff. They delve into things. They have sources and stuff like that. This deal has been in the works for several months for the Garrett to the Rams. And I guess it hasn't been a secret inside NFL circles that the Rams are trying to get Myles Garrett there. And not one other team in the division step up and put some deal together to stop it, let alone some other team in the league and everything. Oh my God, it's even more nauseating. They've been sitting there negotiating about this for several months now, reportedly, to get him there. And the Cardinals, instead of been negotiating with Jacoby Brissett since October, or whatever it is. The more you read about this, it's nauseating.
And I already forgot that they had traded for the Kansas City Chiefs' Trent McDuffie, the cornerback who's a Pro Bowler.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They did that earlier this year, too. Yeah. Before the draft, right?
I don't know what it was. It was early this offseason.
Yeah. Some teams do. Some teams don't. Some teams want to perform and be prideful of what they do, and some just want to lose. Hey, LaFleur, how happy are you signed that contract? My question today. If I had an interview with LaFleur today, that would be my number one question. Glad you signed that deal.
Well, I'm sure at the same time you go, well, Steve, it's $25 million.
He would have had another opportunity, though. I firmly believe he would have had a really good opportunity coming up if he keeps going up. But that's the danger. You can. Ray Horton was one of the best defensive coordinators here at the Cardinals, and everybody wanted him 1 year, and he turned down all the jobs to come back here, and now the guy can't get a job anywhere. So it changes quickly for you and stuff like that as well.
Probably the only thing that I can criticize
Miles in division.
Myles Garrett about is his tweet, his post on X of the Cleveland.
That was a long read. I got tired of reading.
I'm just reading the last line. Loving you is easy. Leaving you is the hard part. Liar.
Yeah, he's
a liar.
He never shows up for off-season camp and stuff. So because people were like, he didn't show up. This deal's been no. He never shows up for the OT or voluntary OTAs. Right. He never does, and he comes into shape better than anybody. Yeah. So you stay away if you're going to come into shape like that, right? And stuff like that. Yeah, you lying Saka. You're probably already in LA. I did read where he had already called Aaron Donald and stuff. So the speculation is Aaron Donald come back with me. Oh my God, because that would just be the Rams. That would just be the Rams.
Yeah, and Aaron said, "Yeah, I want to come back, and I really don't need to get paid. I got so much money.
Yeah, I know. I'll come back for my minimum. Let's do it. Let's wreck this league." Wow. That's the speculation. There's no proof on that, but he even called him to just be like, "What's it like there?" And reportedly, Aaron Donald was like, "Dude, you don't even know. No, you're gonna be in heaven."
What neighborhood should I live in, Aaron? Which guard?
Aaron probably went. You can stay in my place.
Whichever guard gated.
I've got a room for you. Just you and your family come stay here. You're good.
That's crazy.
It literally nauseating. Like I've been sick ever since that trade happened yesterday. So sick, I tried to make myself feel better that A.J. Brown got traded to the Patriots. And I was like, Patriots, good luck with that headache. And it didn't work. Didn't make me feel better. Didn't make me feel better.
Patriots couldn't be further away from the Cardinals.
I tried. But even then, you sit back. Giants yesterday, they're trying to get better. They signed OBJ yesterday, which I think he's a shell of himself. I think I'm the guy, and I'll openly say it. OBJ made his name by making that one-handed overhead catch with the stickum on his gloves. Heck of a catch. And that made him Miss Superstar. And it went to his head, but he was not that good of a receiver. That play made people think that he was an elite receiver. He was better than average, but he's not an elite Hall of Fame receiver. Never was. But that play alone made people think he was. So say what you want about him, but he's definitely gone backwards over the years with his injuries and stuff like that. But the Giants signed him trying to get better. Now they signed Juju Smith-Schuster to try to get better as well. They signed the Pro Bowl kicker, what's his name? Wu or whatever. The one that kept getting kicked around the league, and even though he's a Pro Bowler out there, let me get his name right, and everything like that. So then you sit back and you watch the Giants trying to improve positions on their end. And the Cardinals want to trade Josh Sweat. whether it be Josh Sweat's liking or theirs. They're trying to trade him. They're negotiating with their backup quarterback. And the Browns didn't get better yesterday, but they got better with draft picks that they need because they have a serious salary problem with the Deshaun Watson deal they're still trying to figure out. And then on top of that, they got back a guy that's still going to get 11, 12 sacks for them this year. He's not going to be as dominant as Garrett, but he's going to be dominant out there.
And he's still under his rookie contract, so he's not even eligible for an extension until after this next season. And I believe the quarterback will be off the books after this coming year.
Is it this year or next year? I was trying to remember.
I think it's this year.
He's going to be their starter too, and he's going to quit on him like he always does. First time he gets hit, he's going to quit on him.
Really, you think so?
He always does. I thought they signed the Giants. It doesn't say. I know they signed Jason Sanders in March, and they just cut him. I thought they just signed.
Deshaun Watson is in the final year of a fully guaranteed 5-year, $230 million contract. So this is a final year.
I can get out of that guaranteed money.
Yep.
Giants did sign Young Ho Koo. That's what his name was. I didn't want to guess, and then people are going to be like, you racist, if I guessed wrong. But yeah, Koo. I almost called him Ho. Giants signed him. A Pro Bowl kicker. I know he's been around the league and been with a bunch of teams. I don't know why he keeps moving to teams. I don't know if it's a personality issue or what with him. But I just sitting here going back yesterday, and teams, even the Browns, who went backwards yesterday, you can argue still
came out with a win.
Yeah. They took a guy from his 30s to a guy in his rookie deal, and who had 12-something sacks last year with the Rams. Yeah. Is going to be good. I just don't. I'm just
going to. Did the Cardinals sign anybody yesterday?
No, they're still negotiating with Jacoby Brissett. They're significantly apart. It makes me want to throw up. Guys, give me a minute. Let me cry here for a minute.
I'm still wondering, what is Jacoby Brissett asking for?
That's what we need to know.
Is he asking for 30?
Because that'll determine me on.
Yeah,
Dale, you know what's happening. Okay, I'll just say, you know what's happening. Jacoby Brissett's asking for a 7, 8, 9, maybe a $10 million deal with incentives based off of wins or something like that. And the Cardinals are like, nope. The Cardinals are like, we'll give you 7 guaranteed. And they're arguing about $1 million or $2 for a team that's $30-something million salary cap left for 1 year. Now, like I said, if Jacoby's asking for 2 years to spread, good teams would sign him for 2 years to spread that money out. But the Cardinals don't have to spread their money out, is my argument. Here's the other depressing thing. So just because I was, we were all kicked in the nuts yesterday with this, with what the Rams are doing, Browns are doing, Giants are doing,
Patriots are doing.
Giants are having meetings based off of a guy the quarterback introducing a guy, and another guy on the team being so offended by it that they have to constantly have meetings out there and stuff like that. They're distracted with that stuff, and they're still improving their team and bringing guys in.
Losing
to try to help
guys
them
to
out.
Achilles injuries in OTAs.
Yes, as receivers and all that. So I went and found the post-June 1st dead cap rankings. These are the monies you're spending on people that are no longer on your team. Obviously, Kyler Murray is a big one for the Cardinals, coming up here as well. The Dolphins have $179 million. The Browns have $116 million now. They still have dead money because of Garrett leaving. So they paid him out some salary cap. You still get money right. Then it's Saints at 114 and the Jets at 111. Your Cardinals, 5th, $73 million in dead cap money. A lot of that is Kyler. Here's the difference, though. Now, Dolphins, not good. Browns, not good. Yes. Saints, Jets, not good.
Cardinals.
What's the trend here? Cardinals.
Not good.
Because then you get sixth is Eagles with 73 million. Texans are seventh with 66 million. Then you got the Raiders snuck in there at 55 million. Then you got Jaguars and Bills, 54 and 46 million. What's the difference here? Mostly loser teams, loser franchises, loser owners, loser decisions have the most dead cap money. Here are the bottom three teams.
And just so you know what Steve's trying to say, for those of you who don't really fully, and I don't fully understand the cap, but I have an understanding of it, the fact that dead cap money is usually mistakes you made.
They aren't usually. They are mistakes you made.
But would you say the Myles Garrett thing is a mistake? I don't consider that.
Oh
a
no,
mistake.
they're just because they traded him
Right.
and they've already paid him money. You're right on that. You're
Yeah,
right. So
but
most
I
of
would say the
stuff.
vast majority of the time is because you make a mistake.
Yeah,
signing
you
a guy.
signed Kyler Murray to a giant contract
Yes.
and you have to cut him.
Right.
That type of mistake.
Yes.
Here are the bottom three teams.
Let me guess.
Go ahead.
Seattle,
Now they're 32nd. They have the least dead cap space.
and they have the Super Bowl. Okay.
Yeah, guess how much they have on top of it.
28, 30 million.
513,000.
No.
Yeah. I get these numbers from Spot Tracks. I went and looked at Spot Tracks yesterday. 513,000 in dead cap
And a
money.
Super Bowl trophy.
Yeah. Guess you give me another team here that you think would be low. I'll give you the bottom three.
I would have thought Buffalo would have been.
No, because they have all those receivers and defensive guys they've cut recently and things. So they've racked them up. Yeah.
Cincinnati?
No. Well, they're in the middle.
Are they NFC or AFC?
Both are AFC and they're in the same division. And not
Can't be Kansas City.
and not the Chiefs. Chiefs are in the middle. One's really good, Super Bowl contenders, and one should be Super Bowl contenders, but injuries always bite them in the butt. And the Cardinals playing first week.
Who's that?
The Chargers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Are the
Chargers
Patriots the other
are
one?
Broncos are the other one.
Oh, see, I was still thinking Russell Wilson might be.
No,
counting
Raiders.
against them.
Raiders are 55 million. No, Russell. That's what the Broncos did. They bit that $48 million and they took it all in 1 year.
And they still made the playoffs.
Yeah, and they made the playoffs that year. But then all that money went out. They could have spread it out, but they were like, "We're taking it this year,
And we're gonna make the playoffs."
and then so that was gone right away. The Raiders 55 million. Some of that still is Russell Wilson, by the way. But no, Chargers 5 million. Broncos are 31st here with $3 million. Yeah.
And what do the bottom
Bad
three have in
decisions.
common? They're all playoff teams.
Yeah. And even like the Eagles, they're a playoff team, but they're up and down. And I don't know how much of that is AJ Brown money, moving it up to 73 with that trade to the Patriots. He's a part of that. He's going to be a part of that because, again, it doesn't mean you made a bad decision. It just means you owed him money and you paid him out money that still hits your salary cap this year, type of stuff is there. But yeah, no, even the Chargers, who aren't known for splendid ownership, even they have $5 million in dead cap. It's just, you don't want to be grouped in with the Dolphins, Browns, Saints, Jets, Raiders. Cardinals are right there. And looking like the worst team. I'm becoming more and more convinced the Cardinals. I've always thought the Browns ownership was the worst. I've always kind of put, I don't even know where to go with this, but I've always Carolina's ownership's worse. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think we have the worst owner in football.
Well, the thing is about Cleveland, I think that they hit a home run from everything I read with this Andrew Berry as their general manager.
Yeah, he's making the right. They hope just owners get out of the way.
Yes.
Let him do what he wants. They get out of this Deshaun Watson situation. If that's this year, watch out for the Browns. They're going to make good moves. They're just hampered. They're severely hampered.
I think they got 11 draft picks next year.
Picked up
2 firsts, 2
3 more.
seconds.
Picked up 3 more. It's nauseating, Dale. It makes me nauseous, folks. Like I just walked around yesterday nauseous. I was hoping this giant kidney stone would just rip out of my body yesterday.
It would have hurt less. Watch it.
I would have felt better about that than I would have. I've seen the Rams get better. Yeah. And Seattle's about to get a new owner. It's probably going to be Bezos or somebody that's just going to be like, go win, baby. Whatever it takes.
I got things to do. Schneider just run things.
I'm going to cry. Oh, come on back, folks. It's the main event. Sorry to depress you this morning. And we're back here. Main events. Look who's stumbled in the building. Bruce Cooper joins us like he does on Tuesdays as well. No cruise this week for Coop.
No cruise. That's behind me.
No more scheduled coming up here?
No. Well, I got something later on in I guess August kind of deal, but it's at least I'm in the country. I'm not leaving the country.
Yeah, well, you always go to those hot, humid places in the middle of summer, and I don't know why you do that, man. It's a winter time activity, Coop, as well. Of course, Bruce Cooper, long time, 34-ish years. He never knows the exact time frame. Channel 12, sports. What do you call you? I don't want to call you a sports reporter because you were so much more than that.
I'm the sports anchor, the sports
Sports
director.
anchor. And then sports director.
Yeah,
The big wig.
Eventually got to that spot.
Yeah. He worked his way up the ladder. We just saw him on Friday when he opened the door. I'm like, weren't you just here yesterday?
Yeah. Dale was like, Dale gets jealous of people when they come to Coop, so. Well, of course, Scoop comes and joins us here on these Tuesdays.
On these Tuesdays,
but we were having some fun there in the first part here on Myles Garrett going to the Rams. Jared Verse going to Cleveland. Everybody's improving their teams, and the Cardinals are arguing with Jacoby Brissett over a few $1 million.
Yeah, well, look. The Rams just scored a huge victory in that trade. I mean, I know people are trying to grade it, but I mean, anytime you can replace a Pro Bowler with a Hall of Famer,
Yeah.
And he is the best defensive player in football. Just the fact that he has won he's the reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year, and so when you can add that to your roster. And you're basically, because I mean, you're giving Cleveland Jared Verse, a nice draft pick by the Rams, evolved into a two-time Pro Bowler, but you're replacing him with Myles Garrett. And so, from the Rams' perspective, all they're giving up is a first, second, and third round draft picks. Mm-hmm. And here's the deal: if I'm Cleveland, I would not have taken that first in 2027, because that first in 2027 is likely number 32. I would take it in either 28 or 29 when I'm expecting Stafford to be done.
Right.
And so now the Rams, would come down probably to the middle of the pack. But they took that pick in 27, so they're going to have their own pick and the last pick of the first round. Somewhere around there. But it's just a good deal for the Rams. And look, if I'm the Arizona Cardinals, from my perspective, if Jacoby Brissett is my starting quarterback, well, I got a statue back there now. This guy's coming off the edge, and he's a sitting duck.
Yeah. Now, to tell me this, I want to delve in this a little bit because while we can sit here in Phoenix, Arizona, and talk about, you replaced Jared Verse, who's a Pro Bowler, with a better version of him. There's a lot of teams that aren't taking that deep dive. They're going, this is a little chancy. We're giving up a really good football player and draft picks for what we know is a better football player, but we're kind of comfortable with what we got. I think so many teams play it that way.
Yeah, but if you look at it from the Rams' perspective, they say, hey, look, we're going to trust our front office because keep in mind, we drafted Jared Goff #1 overall at quarterback, and then we sent him to the Lions along with a bevy of draft picks for some over-the-hill quarterback named Matthew Stafford, who all he did in that year one with the Rams was lead him to a Super Bowl victory.
Yeah.
And so I look at this deal in that same vein because the Rams' defense just went up a notch in terms of their productivity. I mean, they had already been doing a great job getting some of these young kids in the draft to develop.
Yep.
I mean, this dude going to put him on a whole nother level. I mean, Myles Garrett is that man, and he's only, 28 or 29?
30.
He just turned 30.
Okay.
Just turned 30.
Prime of his career.
Yeah.
He signed through 2030. So they've got him. I just think that if you would go team by team, that there's maybe 2 or 3 teams in the entirety of the NFL who would make this move.
Make the move, yeah.
Because it's on the outside kind of looks chancy. Like when we've talked about, hey, if the Suns have an opportunity to get some players in here for Devin Booker. Well, no. Devin Booker's the franchise. Mm-hmm. We're not even going to think about that. Rather than, hey, we're going to keep an open mind. I'm not just pointing out the Suns. I'm saying there's a lot of teams that think that way.
Yeah, no doubt. Look, it's not a lot of teams, you're right, that would do that kind of a trade. Mm-hmm. I mean, because on one hand, you got a young, up-and-coming outside linebacker or rush edge in Jared Verse, and I'm going to give up a first, second, and third in draft capital going forward. Now, that's enough to scare off half the league, if not more.
But you got the Super Bowl in L.A. this year.
Yeah, and look, the last time the Super Bowl was in L.A., I think the Rams actually won it.
Yeah.
I think they were the first ones, right?
Yeah.
Well, the other thing you think about on this trade is usually when you trade a superstar or a guy that could be a superstar or a young up-and-coming guy, you don't get equal value back. You usually get less back. And this is a rare time, I think, we see a really good player being traded and you actually improve your team.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me most nauseous about this.
Yeah. Look, the Seahawks, they are the reigning reigning Super Bowl champions because they had a stout defense. Even when the offense would stall, their defense wasn't giving up anything. And matter of fact, they played the Rams twice. And so the Rams could see, okay, what's the difference between what we had? We had Matt Stafford, the NFL Offensive Player of the Year. He was the MVP. And we had two great receivers. We had Puka Nacua, who led the league in receptions and yards, and we had some dude named Devontae Adams, who people thought was on the downside of his career. All he did was, I think he caught like 18 or 19 touchdown catches. So he led the league in touchdown receptions. Right. And they said, where did we go wrong? We had a nice tandem at running back, led by Kyron Williams, and we have a nice offensive line, veteran quarterback. Where do we go? They said we can upgrade our defense the way Seattle's defense was. Right. I mean, Seattle, we all saw what Darnold, his connection with Jackson Smith and Jigba, then he could turn around and hand the ball off either to Charbonnet or Kenneth Walker, who, oh, by the way, is now with the Kansas City Chiefs. But I'm just saying, they looked at it and said, that's where we have to go next. And he says, and we can get people like Darnold or any other quarterback that we run into, Jalen Hurts along the way. We can get them off the field by we get a guy who can get in there and cause double team havocs and stuff. And so we haven't had that type of dude since Arnold.
Aaron Donald.
Since he retired.
Yeah.
And so,
I actually saw a little blurb where Aaron Donald might get the itch to come back and play a little bit. Can you imagine that?
I didn't see that.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? Oh, and the other thing we were talking about, because you said, I heard you guys yapping about this, and salary cap was another one.
Dead cap money.
Dead cap money. But you still got that pulled up?
I can pull it back up.
Yeah, because who do you think are the three teams with the least amount of dead cap? And so again, people are just joining in only for Coop. The fact is, dead cap means you have not had to cut a guy that you owe money to. You haven't made a mistake. Whether it's Kyler Murray counting $45 million against the Cardinal cap this year, or
that's Cardinals are just stupid.
Yeah.
They really are, because as you guys know, I've said on this program many times, I'm not cutting a dude unless I got something better. And wouldn't you love to have an elusive guy like that with the Rams now, having a guy like Myles Garrett on the spot?
I know it's OTAs, but look what he's doing in Minnesota. Like, he's changed the whole attitude around the Minnesota Vikings with him being there. In terms of that offensive side, it's just like But so
the least amount of dead cap. Well, look, I don't really have a clue, to be honest with you. I've never really thought of it.
Well, I'll put it this way. Let me give you the top 10 here: Dolphins, Browns, Saints, Jets, Cardinals are top 5
with most
dead
money.
And loser teams, right? Loser mentality, stuff like that. Then you get into some winning teams here. You got Eagles, Texans, Raiders, Jaguars, Bills are the other 6 through 10.
The Raiders are a winning team?
No, but Eagles, Texans, Jaguars, Bills. I mean, Jaguars have their problems.
So team with the least is, I'll probably say the Rams.
No, they're about the middle of the pack. Yeah.
But there's a certain team that has a trophy up in the Northwest.
The Seahawks.
Oh, Seahawks.
have the least dead cap money. Guess how much?
Well, what's the most? Who has the most?
179 is the Dolphins with the most.
179 million.
And you said the Seahawks have the least.
Yep. You're not going to get it.
25 million.
That's what you thought too. Yeah. No, 513,000, Coop. $513,000.
So that, in other words, Coop, they have not made many mistakes.
Then you got the Broncos next up at $3 million. Then the Chargers are at $5 million.
Okay. So here's the deal. If you just mentioned the Seahawks and the Broncos, those two teams have the best defense, or they had the best defenses in football last year.
Yeah.
Look, the only reason why the Patriots were in the Super Bowl and not the Broncos is because the Broncos' offense was just so inept that day.
Bo Nix got hurt and couldn't play.
It was just ridiculous. I mean, I think they only gave up 10 points.
It was something.
It was something like that. I think they lost
Bo Nix missed that game. Remember, with that foot injury.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
That's how the
You're right.
Patriots
Yeah, you
got
kind of
past them.
forgot about that.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, no, they were without their starting quarterback and stuff like that. Yeah. No, we're just lamenting at the beginning how nauseous I am that it just continues to show, because even the Giants are playing. By the way, Koo signed with the Jets, not the Giants. We have to correct that. I have to correct that as well. Thanks to Ethan for clarifying that on me. And I'll never hear the end of it now. On the drive home later. So you got even Cleveland. Yeah, they downgraded yesterday by getting rid of a generational talent, but they got a really good Pro Bowler back on top of it.
Yeah, look from
the Cardinals.
Yeah, from Cleveland's perspective,
Yeah.
I don't look at that as a bad deal because they're a bad team.
Mm-hmm.
They still haven't resolved their quarterback situation, and so they said, okay, we'll take a younger guy that can grow with us, and even though that pick's going to be number 32 in the first round, we still have 3 additional draft picks going forward,
Right.
and we can help our team.
And by the way, after this year, Deshaun Watson comes off their books. It's the last year of his guarantee.
Yes, I thought he had one more. So so that's huge for them because they lose that guaranteed money at that point.
Yeah.
And stuff. It's just amazing to see. But hey, we're coming up on the top of the hour, and I want to give it enough time out there here and everything. But yesterday, Larry Fitzgerald Sr., obviously Larry Fitzgerald, number 11 Cardinals, his dad passed away yesterday. Media member for multiple years, known throughout Minnesota, became nationally known as Larry got bigger and into the pros and stuff like that. You guys know him and have met him. The thing I'm most upset about on this is, man, just as a dad, man, I hope he can get to that Hall of Fame ceremony. That's what I'm just upset about. Obviously, it's a big deal for everything, but I was just thinking yesterday, just sitting there going, man, to go through all that, be so happy for your kid and missing out on that in August. But I wanted to give you guys enough time to talk about Senior there and all of that. Did you interactions with him there, Coop?
Yeah. I first met Senior when Larry Jr. was introduced on draft day. And then I got to know him a little bit better that year up in training camp in Flagstaff. And I think when our relationship really started to grow was I asked him to do me a couple stories when the Cardinals were up in Carolina to play Cam Newton and the Panthers in the NFC Championship game.
Okay.
And so I had done a few stories leading up to game day with Mr. Fitz, including, their foundation work that they that they were doing with his late wife, who they lost to breast cancer, Carolyn. And so then it rained that day. I was up in the press box and I said, God, we got to fill a 1-hour post game show. So I asked Mr. Fitz if he would join me down on the field. I told him where we'd be. And once he finished up his locker room stuff, post game, if he'd join me on the field to do some live TV work. And he says, yeah. So I'm just waiting. I'm like, oh, geez, the guy's not going to show up. So I'm feeling I got to do some filibustering, and stuff like that.
Dancing, the old dancing.
And I'll be darned, here he comes running up, and it's raining. So we have people holding up umbrellas for us and stuff as we're trying to do the thing in the rain. And I mean, this guy, he just had Mr. Fitz, he's never at a loss for words. He can feel, and he has stories and stuff. I mean, it's almost like listening to Vin Scully on a blowout game try to fill the broadcast.
Right.
But he's got stories.
Right.
And so I thanked him after that. And I tell you, our relationship grew after that. I mean, we talk a lot. Matter of fact, he includes me on his a little group chat deal where he sends out, he does his radios shows and things like that up in Minneapolis. So he'll share those links with me and another group of people and stuff. And on this very podcast, I was talking about Mr. Fitz and his son and the impending Hall of Fame. And, I was questioning if I had said anything that upset him because, Mark Curtis had called me and asked, hey, did you see Cam's interview with Mr. Fitz?
Yeah. That's when he got voted into the Hall of Fame.
Right. Yeah. During the NFL Super Bowl week. And I said, no. So I looked it up and I watched it. And so, I even gave some comments. And I have not talked to Mr. Fitz since. And I have left him message after message, and he just wasn't calling me back. And I said, God, this is very unusual. And I was sharing this with Dale. I said, I was going back and said, did I say something that upset him? Because he, that's just not like him. He always gets back to me. We talk so much, and I'm like, I was really wondering. So at Larry Jr.'s media dinner for that he had, last week, thanking the media for his coverage, for our coverage of him during his time with the Cardinals. I asked Larry about his dad. I said, well, Larry, I thought Mr. Fitz would be here. Where he says, no, Coop, he doesn't travel much and stuff. And I wanted to ask Larry at that point if I said anything that had upset his dad, because him and his dad, we're not talking anymore. But I said, this is not the right time.
Right.
And so I was shocked when Cam Cox actually called me and said, hey, man, did you hear this news? And he told me that Mr. Fitz had passed, and that Marcus, Mr. Fitz's other son, had put out this post. I said, gosh, I get it now. All right. So, but those were my thoughts, and that I had said something maybe on this very podcast
right.
that it teed him up. And Mr. Fitz is always a straightforward guy.
Well, that's what I was
He'll
say.
let you know.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, God.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I would have told you, was just, he will tell you if you may say something he doesn't like.
Yeah. But I'm very saddened by the news. He was a great man. Matter of fact, Mr. Fitz, he had a procedure. I went in for an open heart surgery at the Arizona Heart Hospital in 2012, and probably like maybe 6 months later, Mr. Fitz needed a procedure, and he was in that same Arizona Heart Hospital, and he shared with me. They said, "Hey, Coop was in. This is the room that he recovered in." And Mr. Fitz says, "Well, I want that room."
Yeah, he looks good now.
Yeah. So he shared that with me, and so I never knew that he had any other health problems since then.
Right. I had a different relationship with Mr. Fitzgerald, but let's take our break, and I can share mine a little bit with you.
Dale's isn't as glowing as yours.
Everything ultimately ended up really good.
Well, let's get into it. Yeah, absolutely. So come on back, folks. Second hour main event coming up next. And we're back here, second hour main event. Yeah, for some reason our feed went down right as Coop sat down with us. They only missed a couple minutes, Coop. They didn't miss much, but Robert says, was it Coop's fault? I'm gonna blame him for
Things happen when Coop shows up.
Yeah, exactly. The whole shadow and the legend of Coop rolls through, and sometimes
seismic shift.
Internets can't hold up. Is that we're gonna leave that? We left that hour there with Coop's thoughts there of Larry Fitzgerald Sr. Of course, passing away yesterday. Larry Fitzgerald's dad is, obviously, most of us know us as, but us in the media world have followed him and and know him a lot and stuff like that. And then Dale's had some interactions with him as well. Let's get Dale's thoughts here on it as also.
Well, I will say it didn't start off well. Coop and I used to be on Channel 12 together, Killer D's.
It's Killer
And so
D's.
every Sunday after Cardinal games, we'd come on and we'd talk about usually a loss, especially when he first got to the league.
Times haven't changed.
And as I was telling Coop during the break, just so I got it straight, Larry Fitzgerald was not a Hall of Famer from the get-go.
No.
He wasn't Jerry Rice that came out of the chutes, guns a-blazing.
Anquan Bolden showed him up there after that first year. That was a year later.
But anyway, I'd be critical a little bit. In another loss, he'd drop I don't know if he dropped a whatever. And from my recollection, Coop and I are both old. You had a relationship with Mr. Fitzgerald, and evidently he had called you and said, "Hey, what's this old offensive lineman, criticizing my son, whatever." Blah, blah. And I think I met him one time here in Arizona doing something. But the final time I saw him, I'm doing a Minnesota Gopher game. I think it's Minnesota, Ohio State.
Oh, okay.
In Minnesota.
Oh.
Okay.
And, we're there 3 hours early, just like a lot of the media.
And you were working for ESPN at that time,
I was
right?
working for, it was called Westwood One Radio.
The radio side.
Okay.
Yeah, and I get on this kind of big elevator. There's a lot of people on there, and I'm like one of the last ones on, just face forward. And out of the back, I hear, "Hello there, Snapper." And I'm like, and he's back in the corner, and he acknowledged me. We got off, we shook hands, laughed a little bit, and then we went our separate ways. Like, that's pretty cool that he even recognized me. Secondly, really nice that he said something. He could have been a jerk. He's a big time guy up there. Hey, that's the guy who used to criticize Larry. He didn't know what he's talking about, obviously. My son's going to be a Hall of Famer.
You were in his element there in Minnesota.
But very nice guy. Shook hands and went our separate ways. It was a pretty cool moment. So
You said Larry Jr. posted something today, huh?
He did. I saw it earlier. Let me see if I can find it here. Right there as well. He said, "My father was a man of strength, love, and encouragement. He opened countless doors for me and my brother. He believed in us and pushed us to pursue every opportunity with conviction. He was a rock of our family. He taught us that perseverance, hard work, and unwavering commitment are the foundations of a meaningful life and personal success. I will carry his love, words, and wisdom with me always." Is what he had a bunch of pictures of him and Larry and his brother. I saw family pictures yesterday. I know. I think it was Larry's brother was posting pictures.
Marcus.
With of course Junior, who's now going to Notre Dame this year, or not
Devin.
Junior, but Devin, over there at Notre Dame, and the other sons and things to that effect there, where he was able to see them play at Brophy and stuff to that effect as well. So, it's obviously a big presence here in the Valley and everything. So I wanted to give enough time to it for you guys if you guys were up to talking about it today, because, and that's like you said, it's just, when these guys are getting to those ages and they're not feeling well and not getting around as much, they do lose. They focus on what's necessary on us. So
does it say how old he was?
He was 71.
Yeah.
He would have been 72 on June 10th of this year.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it's just I've seen that with other people as they get old, they just lose touch with people and aren't responding as much and things to that because they stay closer to the family side of stuff. So it's a big presence. And like I said, the most thing I was thinking about was, man, he was probably just trying to get there to August, for the Hall of Fame game and see Larry get into that. And that's what I'm most disappointed about. It's, in terms of that as an opportunity. But I think it's going to make terrible news and stuff, but it's going to make that event even more special for Larry and the family
it just might be more emotional. And I think I learned from you guys, someone on this show, that Larry is actually going to lead off and go first.
I've read that. I haven't seen it confirmed yet, but I read that.
Yeah. Okay, so someone else was telling me that ESPN wanted either Larry or Drew Brees to go first and last.
That would make sense, but who's going in?
Yeah, and Larry says, no, I don't want to go last. I'm going first.
Yeah, Larry wants to do it and then get out of there and not talk to the media, right?
And so I heard that. So he's going to lead off because he doesn't want to follow anyone else.
Yeah, but isn't that a Larry thing to do, though?
Yeah.
Well,
but I tell you what, Larry even acknowledged at the last week at the dinner that the fact that he was fined for slipping out, it helped him grow. And so Larry became, he understood the responsibilities. I tell you, the only other, there's only been one media member, one athlete, I should say, that I covered here in the Valley that understood the media and their responsibilities and things like that. And that was Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
The guy for a guy that had to cover, we had to do his show. And I can't tell you how many times we waited and waited and waited because this man would give interviews for any and everybody, even at the All-Star game. I'm waiting to get material from this dude, and he's talking with the Japanese foreign media, and and so he's just doing a bunch of stuff. And I remember after Suns had an embarrassing national TV loss. Dan Marley and Kevin Johnson, you went in the locker room, they're gone. It's like a ghost town in that locker room. One guy that stood around, Charles says, "All right, you guys all come over here. Everybody get around. Get around. You got everybody rolling, everybody good?" He says, I'm gonna make a statement. I'm not gonna take any questions. I'm gonna say only one thing, and that's it. That's it. He talked about how bad they played, talked they sucked, and he took the brunt of it and said falls on me. He gave you all you ever needed in a soundbite to go back and play, whether you're in radio, print, or TV. He understood.
Right.
And so Larry actually grew, and he talked about that as his deal, and understood better the responsibilities of the media and his responsibility relative to that.
Right.
And so, Larry will get up and he's going to say a lot of great things when he gets up there on that Hall of Fame. Is it Sunday that they do it on?
No, they do it on
usually it's on
Saturday because they have the Hall of Fame game on Thursday night, and then they do other dinners on Friday.
Look, he's going to do a great job because that's who Larry Fitzgerald is. He has grown into the consummate pro. And so he'll do a fantastic job. But I'm just to piggyback off what Steve said. It's going to be an emotional time for him because, that's not there.
Right.
The wounds are still going to be fresh.
Oh, absolutely. Because we're talking less than 2 months, right, to get there.
My dad died in 1998, and every time I get up to give his scholarship away, I get teary-eyed, like a knucklehead. So I can't imagine having to do that 15-minute speech.
Yeah, and that's the thing with all the eyes on you, and Cardinals are flying fans out there, where they're paying for it. They're going up there, and so you're gonna, you always have your fans cheering for it and stuff like that as well. And to be honest with you, I know he's an Arizona Cardinal, and we're all going to be paying attention to it. But of all the guys going in, him and Drew Brees are the two that you're going to obviously pay the most attention to and want to hear from the most. Not to take away from the linebacker and stuff like that, but
the linebacker.
What was his name?
You mean the
what was his name?
The long snapper?
Yeah. Don't want to hear from them.
No, but those are going to be the guys to pay attention to, and Larry's taking it off will be definitely good and from that side. But one other thing, since we're just talking things bad in the world out there, this popped up yesterday, and this makes me upset. Almost as much as Myles Garrett going to the Rams, and the Rams just keep getting better, and the Cardinals folks are still negotiating with Jacoby Brissett today. Some teams want to win, some don't. College football next year, there will be 52 days. Just want to remind you, between the conference championship weekend and the national championship game in Atlanta. 52 days will be between them. Latest national championship game. So, in the conference championship weekend ends.
Okay.
52 weeks until 52 days until the national championship game.
Dude, that's over a month and a half.
It's almost 2 months, Scoop. I'm going to add up. I'm going to round up.
It's still over a month and a half.
The championship game next year is January 25th. Yeah, just wanted to point that out. Now, you'll have playoff games and stuff, but yeah, just unbelievable. I don't know
it's still only 12, right? It hasn't gone up this year.
Nope, still 12. Yeah.
By the way, the Hall of Fame class, the linebacker was Luke Kuechly.
Kuechly. There
Yeah,
we go.
he only had like 1 million tackles.
No, he was good, but he was Carolina. Nobody.
Roger Craig.
I'm not saying you don't want to listen to them. I'm just saying that to me, the two guys that I'd want to listen to the most. Cause
yeah, well, you're a Cardinal fan.
What's Roger Craig going to know about? What's he going to talk about? Bill Walsh and
winning Super Bowls.
Winning Super Bowls and the catch. Is he going to bring up the catch?
Some guy named Joe Montana.
What's he got? What's he got for us there? I actually forgot Roger Craig gets in this year. Yeah,
and Adam Vinatieri's the other guy. Now, the kicker. Does he even have to give a speech?
I just hope he's drunk. So Peyton Manning. I hope he just says stuff, and then Peyton Manning at the end goes up there because all the gold jackets are in the background, and Peyton Manning stands up and goes, "This drunkard kicker, running his mouth over here." I know that wasn't Vinatieri that was saying that stuff, but that would still be a funny ending if they could work that out. I should reach out to Peyton and tell him my idea here as well.
Okay.
No, Dale? No?
So I have the 4 speeches that say, and Adam Vinatieri's getting a jacket too, but we don't got time to hear his speech. So
yeah, sorry Vinatieri for bumping you. We don't have time for you.
Well, I this would be mean. This would be mean of me to say it, but I'm just going to say it anyway. I mean, because I know Diana Rossini broke the story for obvious reasons, but that trade with A.J. Brown finally came off.
Yeah.
And she's not around to...
That's what I was going to ask you
report
about.
on it.
Yeah, she broke it early. Yeah. Oh, no, they're still around. It's just they're being more quiet about it now. They were told to knock it off.
Well...
2 adults were told to knock it off.
Yeah. Well,
do you see that stuff? Just on a side note, you've been in media for a long time. I think it was a CBS sideline girl got fired last year, and she came out and said one of the reasons why she got fired was she was kind of not complaining, but she was bringing to light all the women in media dating head coaches and people around teams and stuff like that.
I didn't hear that.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
The national, it wasn't like that at Channel 12?
No, it wasn't quite like that, my friend.
Before we get into the Diamondbacks really quick, I know, Coop, you're just a giant hockey fan out there.
Giant hockey fan. Okay.
Ready for the final to start tonight?
Yeah, you got what? You got Carolina and let me see. No, don't tell me. Carolina is playing.
I'm impressed. You know the first team.
The Las Vegas Golden Knights.
They are.
There you go.
In Carolina kicks off tonight. I just wanted to get Dale's breakdown of this game. Dale breaks down hockey.
Here's my breakdown. My breakdown is every bit as good as Steve's breakdown because Steve, who knows hockey, obviously said the Colorado Avalanche are unbeatable.
Well, first of all, everybody said that.
Unbeatable, and that they're going to march their way to the Stanley Cup Finals.
And they got swept, didn't they?
They got swept.
Yeah.
Not Game 7, Coop. They got swept. So, I know as much hockey as Steve does. I think it's going to be a fantastic series.
Mm-hmm.
And
I agree with you there.
And I think that the Golden Knights, with the momentum they got, look out, Coop.
Yeah, look, I was rooting for the Montreal Canadiens just because, you don't want to go that long. It's over 30 years since
93 was their last one.
Longer than the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I was rooting for them, especially after being on that cruise and seeing how many Canadians were on that cruise and that were just diehard Canadian fans there. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna buy into them, and so I was kind of hoping that they would do it for the northern part of America.
The hat of America as well. Carolina's 12-1 in these playoffs, by the way.
Carolina is 12-1.
Yeah, 1993. I wanted to make sure because I started thinking was that the Knicks? I thought I was the governor of New York there for a second.
The Knicks were 73 since they won.
73, yeah. So 93 is last, and Montreal was the last Canadian team to win the Cup, and they did it in 93. Last and stuff like that. But no, Dale, I'm shocked you went with the Knights. I'm actually picking the Knights. I put my fandom aside and all of that stuff.
Well, you're a fan of the Knights.
I know, but I put it aside. I broke down the lineups and stuff like that. I will say Carolina will win Game 1 tonight because Vegas has been sitting. I'm interested in seeing how Vegas plays tonight, and if they sneak out with a win, they're definitely winning this series. But it's going 6 or 7.
I look at Vegas like I do the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I know, but it's a little different because Vegas was truly an expansion franchise, and I just watch. They have the expansion draft, so each NHL team can only protect so many players. So
and we had the Coyotes at that time.
Yeah, had the exactly. And so I'm watching who they took from the Coyotes as well, and blah blah blah. And I'll be damn if these freaking guys don't go on and just. I mean, they had an unbelievable expansion year.
Right.
Yeah, they made the finals in their first year.
Yeah.
Or final in their first year, yeah.
And I'm just like...
That's what good owners do, Coop.
Good. Well, sheesh, come on now. And so I'm jealous. And so I think a few years later, they actually won it all.
Yeah, they did, yeah. Again, yeah. And they've won one. They lost to Washington. I'll say it this way. This is their third trip in 9 years.
Yeah, and dude, and the Coyotes were here since '95. They couldn't even sniff the playoffs after
that
a while.
1 year when the NHL owned them, they went to the championship.
Yeah,
round.
They lost to the Kings.
Western,
They lost to the Kings. I was there for that.
They were hot that year. But don't tell me the ownership group wasn't pushing them through.
Well, look, they had some absolutely they had some great battles, and
they had some great teams when they first got here. But Kachuk and those boys,
those guys, they were annually
Mm-hmm.
In the playoffs at America West Arena.
But they couldn't win a first round series.
No, they could. Hey, and I remember it was they played a rock'em sock'em series against the St. Louis Blues. That's when I really started. Really
is that the one where Kachuk broke his jaw and kept playing?
And
the Blues one?
Cujo, Curtis Joseph. I mean, it was him and I believe it was Hobby Boulin. I mean, they just had great net minding in that series. I mean, and it would go like to double overtime and stuff like that, and fans had in the whiteout. I mean, even though they had these obstructed view seats, you would never know it. It was a madhouse. I mean, look. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And so I didn't see that again until you talked about it, when they were in the finals against the LA Kings. Yeah. Dude, I do my shows out on the plaza because they at the Westgate in front of the building there, they would just, fans, they would pack it. It was incredible. Then you go inside. I mean, it's just too bad the Coyotes couldn't,
The fans weren't the problem. The ownership and putting the teams together. Even in those later years in Glendale where the fan base wasn't there, because I had season tickets and stuff. Even when the fan base wasn't there, or still the diehards were still ruckus and stuff.
But if you win, they will come.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm telling you.
That's where the Coyotes ownership kept messing up. Was they were like, no, they should come. We're not going to put money into this team because nobody comes and watches them and it costs too much money. Not realizing if they would have done it right and not put Gretzky in charge, who just brought his buddies in and they weren't able to win and stuff like that, the fans would have supported them.
At the end of the day, if you win, that 45-minute hour drive from the East Valley becomes like a half hour if you're winning.
Yeah. And to my point, so I was jealous of Vegas. So it's hard for me to root for them. And OKC, granted, they were the Sonics that came here. Dang it. I mean, they're doing something our Phoenix Suns haven't done.
No.
I mean, come on, man. So I get a little jealous of those two teams.
They're sitting at home now. You should be. We're going to talk about that with you in a second.
But here's the deal. I couldn't win in this series because I can't stand the Spurs. I will never forgive them for the Robert Horry hip check.
Okay, but I brought up something yesterday because I agree with you. We all have those feelings. So when we come back here, I want to talk to you because obviously we won't see you. That series kicks off tomorrow. These are my two most hated teams in basketball.
Oh.
Spurs and Knicks.
Is that right?
Hopefully the Plains just break down.
What do the Knicks do?
I've always hated the Knicks. Just New York.
Hey, Coop, you and I are old enough. My first favorite team was the Knicks because that was when Clyde Frazier was there. That 71, 72, 73. I was just getting into basketball. I was 8, 9, 10 years old.
My first favorite team was actually their rivals, the Boston Celtics.
Okay.
Yeah, with Hondo, Havlicek.
That was Patrick Ewing and those guys. They just always rubbed me the wrong way with their attitude. John Starks wanted to fight everybody all the time. We'll talk about it. Come on back, folks. Main event. about them in the history books, Scoop.
Alvin Adams.
Ricky Sober.
The cocaine
Curtis Perry.
scandal.
Well, wasn't Alvin Scott on that team too? Or no, he was not there yet?
No, Charlie Scott.
Charlie Scott?
No, Charlie Scott wasn't there yet.
Okay.
No.
Curtis Perry.
Around.
Curtis Perry, Gar Hurd, Ricky Sobers, Alvin Adams, Dick Van Arsdale, Paul Westfall.
This is off the top of his head, folks.
Dennis Autry.
Yeah, so so bringing up NBA here, and I know everybody's got that hatred for the Spurs here in the Valley. Any Suns fan does from the Robert Horry day. But I made this observation watching that Game 7 against the Thunder, and I was rooting for the Spurs to win it because I'm tired of the Thunder getting those calls where they're flopping. It's bad basketball. I don't like it. And dare I say it, this is a different Spurs squad. They have nothing in common with those championship years with Tim Duncan and those guys. Nobody's whining, very few flopping going on by the Spurs. If anything, they played through the flopping of the Thunder last week, and they just really impressed me in that series. So I have to compartmentalize is what I'm getting at here and say I want the Spurs to win this series. I think they're going to win this series. I do not like either of these teams, but this Spurs team is fun. Now, it helps that Popovich isn't the coach anymore, and he's, resting away on a shelf somewhere, and he's still got a presence there. I get it. But this team is fun to watch. If you could take that hatred and put it aside for a second, this Spurs team is fun to watch.
Well, see, the thing that's going to chap me is that, I had to sit there through, what are they doing, won 5 championships during that.
Every other year.
It was a 7 seconds or less era. I mean, they just teed me off. And so now, if they win this series, dude, I'm telling you, I can see them pulling off another 3-4 in a row.
Oh, it's going to be them and Thunder for the next 3 or 4 years, right?
Yeah,
and
so, dude, I'm telling you, I heard about a sick trade proposal, because the Thunder realize that they can't go any further with this team against that
it's a
Spurs
mismatch
team.
issue. They were 4-8 against the Spurs this year.
And so
overall,
you tell me what you think about this. And I said, man, I can see the Bucks.
I know it.
I see the Bucks do this. The Bucks, the Thunder would send Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams from Perry High School, along with first round pick in 27. First round pick in 28, and if the Bucks wanted multiple picks, the Thunder have 2 firsts this year and 3 firsts in 2028. So they can even let's say throw a 127 and 228 first round picks. If I'm the Bucks, I'm saying, dang, I'm getting 2 All-Stars and 3 first round picks for Giannis. I got to do that. And so now, if you look at the Thunder, the Thunder now have something. Because Giannis Antetokounmpo, he can actually give Wemby a fits. He can give Wemby fits that they're not getting fits from with Holmgren
from Chet.
Or Hartenstein.
Or Lou Dort.
Yeah, and so I'm like, dang, they are so deep. See, they're used to playing without Jalen Williams anyway this year.
Right.
They got AJ Mitchell, and they're saying, look, okay, so we're replacing Chet Holmgren with Giannis Antetokounmpo, and AJ Mitchell will replace Jalen Williams. And yeah, we don't need those 3 first-round picks anyway, 1 in 27 and 2 in 28. He says we'll leave ourselves with 1 pick in each one of those drafts. We're so deep, we don't. And I'm like, dang.
Well,
that is a. Look, I don't want the Thunder to do it. Because, again, I'm jealous of them, but my God.
Think about this, though, Coop. We just saw something go down yesterday that is somewhat along those lines, where that would be a ballsy move by Oklahoma City, because when you look at it, you're a quarter away from going to your 2nd straight NBA Finals. And yes, Chet Holmgren struggled in this series.
No, he's not, and he's going to struggle against Wemby every time.
He is, but he's still an All-Star.
Yeah, and
he's
so
still an All-Star.
And so if you're from the Milwaukee Bucks perspective, that's what they're saying. We're getting 2 All-Stars and 3 first-round
Because if
picks.
you're Milwaukee, you don't have to go through San Antonio until it's the final. But that would be taking a chance from a championship team. And Giannis, while I agree that he's a supreme talent and he's better than any of the players in the trade,
I think he's the
is he
best.
going to be healthy?
His mindset.
I think he's the best two-way player in the league when he is healthy. Now, granted, he doesn't have much of a perimeter shot, but I mean the way this guy can attack the paint and the rim, and the way he can draw double teams. Are you freaking kidding
Him and
me?
SGA would be lethal. But again, do they have
I
the
didn't even think about
guts?
it.
Do they have the guts like the Rams did to pull the trigger?
Well, if Presti is smart, and there's no reason to think that he's not, 'cause this guy's been a genius. I mean, what he does. I mean, he even picked up Jared McCain. McCain was their second best player in this series. Right. You know, he really was. The dude was coming off the bench, and he picked him up at the trading deadline.
Right.
I'm like, I thought it was like a nothing more than just like a footnote in the transaction.
Right.
But I mean, dang.
Yeah.
I mean, and so look, if I'm Presti, I make that move. I mean, I think it's a brilliant trade.
Well,
my only worry about Giannis is
he's 31.
on again. I know, but the on again, off again stuff that's been happening in Milwaukee. Sometimes guys take advantage of that stuff. The rumors that he wasn't showing up to meetings on time, and planes were waiting for him, and stuff like that. Can you get out of that funk when you go to a team like Oklahoma City? And that kind of worries me a little bit about him. It's been, 2-3 years? He's been kind of...
a couple coaches got run out of town.
because of him and stuff like that. Just makes you wonder, like, will that rock the apple cart? I like the trade on paper, but I'm not sure Giannis's headset in the right spot.
well,
That's what would worry me.
But winning has some way.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to
That's
see
the
that.
thing.
I don't want to see that trade go down just because it just makes it even tougher for the Suns.
That's the issue,
My
right?
God.
That's the problem. Yeah, who the Suns going to have guard Giannis at that point?
I mean, it's already.
Yeah, they got rid of Kevin Durant. So.
Did you see? So who do you have in the series? Spurs or Thunder? Before I have something else.
Well, I'd like to see the Knicks win it, just because I just feel that the Spurs are, if they win this, I mean, even if they don't win this one, the Spurs are going to go on this run for. They may be the next team to three-peat. I mean, for crying out loud. That's how impressive they are. I mean, look,
San Antonio, come on, the women, come on.
Hey, let me tell you something. It's not often that I see anybody, from a guard perspective, overpower Lou Dort.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you something. That's Stephon Castle. That's Stephon Castle. He was a grown man in that
Yes,
series.
he was.
I mean, you talk about his physicality.
Yeah, that's what I'm
his
getting at with the
aggressiveness.
Spurs team. This Spurs team is fun to watch.
Well, and they allowed, I will say this, we have not talked about it, but Game 6, Game 7 was officiated differently than Games 1 through 5, thankfully.
and the regular season.
They allowed more physical
Yes.
players. They kind of swallowed the whistles a
Yes.
little bit more.
And I like that.
And that plays to the Spurs advantage because they have some physical wings. And we talked about Stephon Castle, but I'm telling you something, man. At Dylan Harper, even though he's a rookie, that's a grown man.
Yeah.
Devin Vassell, look, he may look a little slight. He's a grown man. They play ultra aggressive, and I didn't know that De'Aaron Fox could defend the way he did. I always looked at him as like a true point guard, a guy who's a scoring point guard, rather,
Mm-hmm.
But he played some physical defense. I mean, they threw those 4 different guys at SGA. They just wore SGA down.
Yeah. Well, another thing I can tell you because it just jumped into my mind. You have to look no further than that Cornet block on Hartenstein. That 90.
That was a 4-point swing. Yeah.
With 98% of the time is getting called, even though there was not a foul,
Right.
just on the anticipation of 2 big dudes going up in the air.
That's a good point.
You know,
Good point.
And
I don't even know if the Thunder or the Spurs had a challenge left at that time.
no, I don't think. Well, I don't know if they did or not, but that's called
Yeah,
majority of the time.
Yeah, it just how many guys did you name on the Spurs before you got to De'Aaron Fox there? That's why this Spurs team to me is just they play basketball the right. And I'm the guy that says the Spurs actually are responsible for ruining the game of basketball and what we know today. Popovich created, Hack-a-Shack. Popovich created we don't play until Christmas time, and then we'll start playing. We rest our guys on back-to-backs and stuff like that. That all started with Popovich and the Spurs back in the day. And I blame the Spurs specifically for ruining the game of basketball and what we see today. Now this team has me going, this team is fun. This team is fun to watch.
Their biggest Achilles heel is that they don't really have a true sniper outside of Julian Champagnie. Even though we know Harper and Castle and Fox and Vassell, they can knock down threes. They're not what you call prolific three-point shooters. Champagnie is their best one, and they don't have enough of those guys. So I gotta hope that the Spurs, don't wind up with any more sharpshooters.
Here's my question for you. Because you want the Knicks to win it. I think the Spurs are going to win this, but it's going to be a series. I don't think the Knicks have not played a team defensively like the Spurs.
No, well, they haven't seen anybody like Wemby.
Yeah, since the regular season and whenever they played, right?
Yeah.
And stuff. Nobody in the East is like the Spurs team. Nobody in the East is like this Thunder team. And I think it's, winning by 30 in the East kind of gives you this built-up confidence. They've been at home for a while now waiting and things to that effect. And it's going to be fascinating to watch in Game 1. Getting smacked in the face and how you react.
Well, the thing that I'm interested in, I'm interested in seeing how Spurs coach Mitch Johnson attacks this game because we know the Knicks want Karl Anthony Towns, Cat, to play at the 3-point strike.
And he's playing great
and they hope that draws Wemby out. Yeah. So I'm just saying that Mitch Johnson's going to say, nah, I'm going to put someone else on Cat.
Right.
And I'm going to leave Wemby on someone who plays closer to the paint. Now, we know when Mitchell Robinson's in the game that that plays to the Spurs' advantage because Wemby will get on him and Mitchell ain't going outside that paint anyway. So Wemby's going to be in the paint to do his Wemby things. But I'm interested to see how they attack this lineup with Karl Anthony Towns, who I just can't see Mitch Johnson. If I'm the Spurs head coach, there's no way I'm going to say, Wemby, you got Cat. There's just not a way.
No. Because you're going to be standing out there 15 feet away from the basket.
And Jalen Brunson and those guys are going to get in the paint. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
Coop, that might be one of the best points you've ever made, Coop.
I know, I'm making notes on that right now.
I'm anxious to see what happens. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Robert said, who would take Holmgren? A bunch of money for not much production.
He's an all-star.
Well, that's the thing. He's really good against guys not as tall as him.
Well, but here's the thing that he's missing. The Bucks are going to trade Giannis. So they want to get their best haul back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You name me a haul better than what that proposed trade from
players
the Thunder.
And picks. Yeah. Nobody has that.
Yeah. And so, look, you can say what you want about Holmgren, and I'm not going to necessarily disagree. But from the Bucks' perspective, they're trying to get the best haul back in return. Beat that, Robert.
Well, and here's the other thing. When you talked about, because everybody said San Antonio, they're a year or two ahead of schedule, and this young squad, and on and on. And I'm like, again, some of the things just jog my memory, and the fact that I remember in '92 we had to go play San Francisco. They were 15-1 in the regular season in the NFC Championship game, and everybody said we don't have a chance. The Cowboys are too young. They're here a year or two early. And we were dumb enough to not even know what we're getting into. I see a little bit of that in San Antonio. It's like they just go play basketball.
Yeah, especially with Dylan Harper, the rookie. I mean, that kid. He played huge in Game 7. He played huge in Game 7.
One last thing from basketball before we move over to and Dale's crawled back up they've hauled himself back up on the Diamondbacks bandwagon after the weekend here.
I broke an ankle yesterday and I pulled a hamstring trying to jump back on last night.
Did you see Yusuf Nurkic was on a show? Did you see this? It was all in his native language, so you had to do it. On what he said about Coach Bud, did you see this?
Yes, called him. He was an alcoholic, and he was. And he was doing wild things like.
Well, we knew the second part before you say what it is. We knew he was because remember he went to Booker and was like, "Hey, this is my team. You don't talk to." Wasn't that him or was that the coach before?
No. That was Budenholzer.
Yeah,
that was yeah. So we know that happened. So we know he was having wrong conversations with players one-on-one. But he's really knocked it off there. But to say a guy was just an alcohol addict is how he phrased it. And now, like I said, it was in his native language. So translation.
And then
what he did individually.
And then he talks about how he had these one-on-one with the players, and he was such a negative influencer or talk. He said he even tried to tell Kevin Durant how to score.
Yeah,
he said it'd be one thing if you try to tell me how to score, but you're trying to tell the second greatest scorer. I mean, it's like unbelievable.
If you didn't see this video, now like I said, it's translated and stuff like that. But he even went so far to say, like, you don't tell a pilot how to fly a plane.
Right.
And he's in there having meetings with Kevin Durant and stuff to that. We knew. I'm pretty sure we all knew, at least those of us in the media know, that Coach Bud was a serious problem with this team, with what he was doing. But now keep in mind, Nurkic was not one of the favorites, right? He got run out of town and stuff like that.
But it makes sense. I mean, look, with Vogel, they were a playoff team. They won 47 games, a playoff team, and so
they went backwards with Coach Bud.
Yeah. I mean, and really badly backwards, and so.
He went to Nurkic and just flat out told him, "You're a bad teammate." And Nurkic was like, "How am I a bad teammate?" He's like, "You just are. You're a bad teammate. And that's why you're not playing here anymore."
Well,
and
I will tell you from some of the people that I know that we will remain anonymous, that they would not refute any of that either. That would have some knowledge of what was going on.
Do people claim the alcohol thing? That's the first time I've heard
never
that.
really heard that, but I've heard domineering. I hear control freak.
I think those are. I don't know if I know it got out into the public. I don't know how much it did. I know we certainly talked about it here. But that in the media circles, I mean, that was
that was an eye-popping or eye-opening article that I read. I'm like, whoa.
Well, maybe that's why he looked so bad when I saw him in Coronado there about 10 o'clock in the morning having breakfast. I saw him walking down the street in Coronado last summer.
He did.
Maybe he had a rough night the night before.
Or rough morning.
Yeah.
It's still going there as well. I've just never seen a player. I've seen players rip coaches in the past, especially ones that get run out of town and stuff to that, but he did it so even
he
kill.
Waited a full year.
He did specifics. There's no reason to attack Coach Bud today or whenever he did this, yesterday or whatever.
No.
But then he went into like specifics where it sounds believable. He wasn't just saying that stuff. But the alcohol thing was what?
It made a lot of sense to me once I read it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure you guys saw that, what you guys thought. And it's just like, what? But to say a guy's got a drinking problem, I mean, that's...
Well, and it's a little stronger language than just a drinking
Yeah.
problem, it sounded like. But anyway.
Well, yeah, like I said, it was in his native language and they had it translated. So when he called him an alcohol addict, I'm like, who says that?
Yeah.
But it might be the term that they use over there. Well, fellas, Dale's back up on that Diamondbacks bandwagon after that Seattle sweep over the weekend after last night as well. I mean, this was a fun game last night. And obviously, the Dodgers, which makes it better, in front of a Dodgers crowd there downtown. As well. Tommy Choi, first Major League Baseball home run. That was great to see. But before the game, because I talked to you on Friday, we talked to you here. Pavin got called up. Tim Tawa got sent down. I wasn't surprised by that. I figured it'd be him or ADC is what I was thinking. Del Castillo, one of those would go down, but it was Tawa. And then Santana. Here's the question I got for you. Now, he re-injured himself. He's only making $2 million this year. Is this a we're just gonna pay you play out your season?
Don't even bring his name up.
60-day IL.
Let me tell you something. The way that Ildemaro Vargas is playing first base, and keep in mind,
Hernandez is struggling.
They moved him. I mean, look at the play he made last night. You know, the double play. He just makes plays, and so I talked about Tawa's positional versatility. I'll tell you, this Ildemaro Vargas, this dude, his glove is amazing. Yeah, hey, look, the most amazing glove I've seen on the Diamondbacks in my time with it has been Nick Ahmed, and obviously Ahmed is no longer playing. But I'm telling you, this Vargas, it doesn't matter where you put him. This kid is something else, and he can.
He's 35 years old.
Yeah, I know. But he is, and this is like his third tour with the stint with the Diamondbacks.
He's struggled everywhere he's been.
Yeah, but the way he's playing first base, I mean, Santana is irrelevant. Don't even mention his name.
No, the only reason I bring it up.
This is what you got to put in front of Santana's name. DFA. End of story.
Well, this is my argument. I'm not saying he's not hurt or whatever, but it's almost like I saw him go to the 60-day, and I went, thank goodness. Because you could just see the Diamondbacks trying to shoehorn him back into this lineup and stuff.
I can't.
And they're not even
that.
messing with it.
And here's the deal.
I like it.
I think I touched this last week, but look, I just read where I saw in the game last night. They gave an injury update report. They talked about how A.J. Puck's going to start a rehab in Reno, and Jordan Lawler's not far behind him.
He's actually hitting in the fall league right now, and I think he's got to go to Reno and get some bats.
And so I'm like, okay, now we're getting into some problems. See,
that's what I brought up to you last week was with guys coming back here, you're going to have roster problems. Like Gurriel's coming back, and then what do you do?
But these aren't guys. A different term. They're not problems. Yep. Because it's an overabundance of guys that can play.
Well, here you look. I've already figured out that problem. I already know what I'm gonna do. But let me tell you something. And this is another. Just because Puck's coming back, and then you watch Taylor Clark. Yeah. He threw the 7th. I mean, the guy's been spectacular. Yeah. And then some guy named Brandon Garcia, who started the season in the minors. This dude, his ERA is under 1,
0.75.
Yeah, whereas Clark's is just barely over 1. And so I'm like, Ginkel's throwing extremely well. Even Loaiza, who I mean, they are throwing well. So I mean, who do you move out? Who do you move out to bring Puck back in?
But you got to know, Coop, and you got to know the way the Diamondbacks operate, that within the next month, there will be an injury to somebody. Don't you think? Honestly, don't the odds tell you?
Why would you even speak that into existence?
I'm not casting it upon anybody, but isn't that kind of the way it happens?
Yeah. Let me tell you something. The way I'm looking at their bullpen, and I'm definitely going to keep Brandon Pfaadt anyway.
He's the question mark that you got.
Well, I got to keep him. I got to keep him because I'm looking beyond this year. I think he's still a big part of my future. I am not discarding him. So
but for the rest of here's my question on Pfaadt though. For the rest of this year in the bullpen, because they're doing this weird thing with him where they're trying to keep him stretched out for starter, but then want him in the bullpen. Yeah. And you could see an injury. We saw that with Dre Jamison when they try to do that with him. So they got to decide what they want from him this year. He's either going to become a relief guy or he's going to be stretched out for a starter.
I don't think he has any minor league options left. So I have to keep
I thought he had one left.
Does he?
You might be right. Okay,
but I do know this. I am trading both Lourdes Gurriel.
Okay. I agree with that.
And Zach Gallen. Trading them both. Right. They're both in the last year of their contracts anyway. And I might as well try to get some prospects for them because, look, if you could say, well, look, the Diamondbacks, they're clearly showing they're going to be a playoff team, so you like the experience of a Lourdes Gurriel Jr., I'm going to say San Antonio Spurs there. No, look, I got some young kids. I have some young kids who are playing well. They're more athletic, and they run better, they catch better, and all things. They're lacking experience. I'm going to give these young kids a chance to gain some of that experience on the fly this year. Gurriel, bye. Zach Gallen. Look, I got some dude named Corbin Burns coming back, so it's not an experience thing here. But you're in the final year of your contract anyway, and you're the worst of my 5 starters right now. Bye.
Yeah,
and it's pretty simple.
By the way, Brandon Pfaadt does have minor league options remaining. I was pretty sure
really?
He did. Yeah. And so that's why you got to make the decision. You send him down to keep him stretched out to be a starter, but they're trying to do it both ways, and I think he's struggling at that point. But the other thing, that we got holy cow, I just forgot the other thing I was going to talk about. That was super important besides Brandon Pfaadt.
Well, while you're thinking, here's the thing that bothered me about it last night, Coop. Great win and all that, but I want my boy E-Rod in the All-Star game. He goes 6 innings, gives up 1 run. And doesn't get the win.
And here's the deal. He didn't have his best stuff.
No.
And he was taking on the best team in baseball.
Yes.
I don't know, excuse me, Atlanta Braves fans, but the Dodgers still are the best team. You may have the best record, but the Dodgers are the best team. So I mean, he did that. Yeah. And then the bullpen and I got again a tip of the hat again to Sewald. I mean, he's 14 of 15 in opportunities right now.
Yes,
dude.
He's got a 3.6 ERA. E-Rod again 2.24.
Wasn't that his? Was that his 15th save last night?
Yes,
it was.
Was it 15?
15. So 15 to 16.
Yeah. Well, okay. I remember what I was going to say now. I heard a professional broadcaster that knows something about baseball. I didn't out him yesterday. But I heard him yesterday, and I came in just flabbergasted. He was saying, but he knows more about baseball than I do. hit the game-winning blooper there to win a World Series. He came out and he said that the young guys in this lineup are putting too much pressure, and I'm paraphrasing, too much pressure on the veterans on the top of the lineup to where Martes and Perdomos are trying too hard because they know they have to pick it up for the young guys. Basically saying the young guys at the bottom of this lineup are hurting this team. And this was coming off of the Seattle. I think that's garbage.
Hey, dude, I didn't hear that, but I can't see Gonzo saying that. I can't see him saying that. When you said a guy that had a bloop hit, I already knew who it was. I knew it was. But are you sure you didn't misconstrue what he said or take out of context what he said?
Nope. He said that the upper guys could feel a little bit. It wasn't just him. There were other people on 98.7
They're
yesterday.
blaming the rookies
saying
for the
that
veterans.
The bottom third of the lineup, we have to rely too much on younger players in this lineup, and that causes issues. And they're talking specifically about the Seattle series, not last night. Forget about last night. You don't know about last night yet. And they're saying that, that stuff. My argument is,
dude, he couldn't have said that. He couldn't have said it.
I'll find it for you. I'll find it. I was at flabbergasted.
Yeah, because I want to hear that too.
So then I came in here, and I was all about to. But my argument is, Ketel Marte's one of the best second basemen in the league, and he just had, won the award for hottest player in baseball or whatever the award was he got, and then he went 0 for 10 against the Seattle Seahawks. My argument is your Perdomos, your Martes, your Corbin Carrolls, and I'm taking Corbin Carroll out of this because he's the one guy that fairly gets in it. Those are the guys that are supposed to get you out of slumps. And it seems like those are the guys that put us into slumps. And that's where I get frustrated. Interesting enough, I was saying all this yesterday, and then Marte last night goes up and gets the insurance runs and everything, and makes me look like an idiot.
I'll tell you this. The Diamondbacks continue to bat Perdomo third. And this guy, last year, every time it seemed like he came up in a big situation with runner in score position, he came up with that hit. He was an excellent bunter. He knew how to lay down the drag bunts and things like that, or even just sacrifice people over. He always did the right thing. This dude is hurting the Diamondbacks this year. They don't need to. He does not need to be third in the lineup when Torrey
won't move up any of the young guys because he likes them down at the bottom because whatever reason Torrey's got for that. I say mix the young guys in between those guys.
Perdomo right now. Look, I know he stayed with Ketel Marte, and Marte finally turned it around, and he carried the Diamondbacks for essentially 2 weeks. He really was that stud, but he, like you said, he didn't do a darn thing in Seattle, and there he was last night with that insurance 2-run home run in the 8th. But Perdomo, I'm still waiting. Dude.
Especially after last year. Last year obviously was a blip,
His name was in the running for MVP. That's how well he played a year ago.
He made a name for himself. Everybody said he's the new up-and-coming shortstop that everybody needs to pay attention to. And so I just don't like to, after the Seattle series, to hear
dude, I'm surprised
people around sports, and stuff saying that we have too young of a team. And I'm on the opposite. I'm actually arguing, no, like you, Gurriel. I'm sorry, either DFA because he's not worth that much.
You got,
or you trade him.
You can get something to trade.
No, get rid of those veteran guys that are injured and not playing with 1 year left on their deal. Get young guys up here because if you look at the young guys when they play, even in Seattle, if you paid attention to the young guys, and I'll put Tawa in this, even though he's been struggling this year, they play differently. They play at different speeds. They play like they're fighting for something. And then these old Perdomo threw his helmet down and broke it out of frustration, and Marte's struggling on that side. The young guys bring something to this team that they badly need, and that's the guys you need to see there.
Now, look, I've seen Troy now not make 2 plays in left field.
Tommy Troy?
Yeah. And the one last night led directly to the Dodgers' only run. He's coming in. He called it. I guess you can see him saying, I got it, and it went off the thumb of his glove. He kind of like overran it a little bit, and it went. And so that now put Paez and with a double and move Shohei to third. And now the sac fly on the next batter gets their only run in. Whereas if he makes that catch, Shohei stays at second. And then the flyout helmet, and the Dodgers never score. They're shut out.
To me, Tommy Troy's the one guy. I like his bat, but he's the one guy that.
Yeah.
I'm talking Fernandez. I'm talking.
Yeah. And here's the deal: you got to
Waldschmidt.
keep this in mind too. The Diamondbacks are converting him to outfield. He's been an infielder not only at Stanford in college, but in the minors. And now I believe it was late last year they started trying to move him around.
He played in the outfield all in Reno and stuff like that.
So they're trying to do with him like they did with Jordan Lawler because they figure their infield is set.
Right.
Now Lawler made a very successful transition. That dude looks like a natural out there. It looks like one of those deals where Fernando Tatis gets moved from the infield to the outfield, and he looks like a natural out there. I don't think Tommy Troy's at that spot yet, So
yeah, he's the one I'm a little skittish on. But
I might move him down if I have to, because if I put Lawler back in center, I'm moving Waldschmidt over to left.
Waldschmidt has to stay.
Yeah,
out, right?
and look, I know that Barossa doesn't hit nearly as well as Tommy Troy, but if you saw him in center field last night, you say that's our Alex Thomas. And so what I'm going to do is late in the game, I could pull Waldschmidt out, move Lawler to left, and put Barossa in center because now in that 8th, 9th innings, I'm trying to put my best defense on with a lead. I'm trying to do that. So that's why I keep Barossa up.
Do you even need anybody in the field when you got our closer extraordinaire, Paul Sewald?
Right. Hey, look. Again, that dude has really surprised me. He really has surprised me this year. But look, I'm just really blown away. I think if you ask me what is the strength of this Diamondbacks team, I might even consider saying bullpen.
Oh, now
really
you have to.
I might, and I would never have said that.
I don't remember if I had this stat for you on Friday, but I had it last week. Diamondbacks have the least pitched bullpen innings, second least. Dodgers have the least. Diamondbacks are second least pitched.
Well, that means your starting pitching is doing well.
That means your starting pitching is going deep into games, and you're only 3 innings or 2 or 3 innings for your guys, and that's how you keep a bullpen fresh to where they aren't screwing up all the time. So they're not tired and arms all dead and stuff to that effect. They actually are getting to the point now.
They have to pitch guys.
Yeah, they literally have to throw guys out there just to get them some work because they hadn't pitched so long.
Who goes tonight? Is it Soroka?
Soroka tonight. Yeah, after Erod. So I know. So against the Dodgers, and it's good to see that win, and last night and fight back, and especially being down 1-0, come back on that with the home runs. Young guys, then the old guys got involved on it. It was good to see. Now they got to keep that rotation going forward. I'm looking up here because who's going for the Dodgers?
Eric Lauer.
Okay, Lauer. Okay.
Soroka's 7-2.
Dude, Soroka,
those are the two best pitchers.
and Erod have been just lights out.
We need to have World Baseball Classic every year. Those two.
Yeah, because that's when Erod made his turn, didn't he?
And he came in. Erod always comes in. Sorry, Erod. He comes in chubby, looks a little chubby in training camp. And he was in that World Baseball Classic, and he was jacked. He was ready to pitch and all of that stuff. And it's like, all right, that's what he needs. National pride.
Yeah, he's been the surprise to me, along with Soroka in the bullpen. I didn't.
Sewald in the bullpen.
Well, okay. Well, I'm getting.
You mean and the bullpen?
Whole,
I'm sorry, you said Soroka and the bullpen. I misheard you there. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. But yeah, so there you go. Diamondbacks. I was saying earlier in the show, the thing I love about this job, Coop, is yesterday you can come in one day and just rail on Marte for being over and not performing as a guy that that's the leader of this team, and then he goes out the night of and just makes you look foolish that night.
Look, I remember the Diamondbacks opened the season in L.A. against the Dodgers, and they played them tough for 3 games, and they came away with 3 heartbreaking losses to start the season. And so I think they went on this run thereafter where they didn't lose another series for
a long until they hit the White Sox. Or was it the Cubs or White Sox was first? One of those.
The Cubs.
Yeah, and so to see them get the first of 4 against the Dodgers at home last night when it was clearly Dodger blue.
3-1. I mean, watching that game, you're like, all right, we're at Dodger Stadium today. Yeah. Perfect.
Where's Vin Scully's doing the game?
And so you figure
they're selling Dodger dogs last night.
Yeah, really. And so you figure the next 3 nights is going to be the same thing. And if the Diamondbacks can win 3 of those 4, I mean, I think that would do a world of good for them in terms of, not only their confidence, but how they feel about themselves going forward. I mean, the Nationals are coming in over the weekend for 3, and look, the Nationals are playing pretty well. But if you take
bad.
3 or 4 from the Dodgers, oh man, I don't know. I think the Diamondbacks will do something pretty special before the All-Star break.
That's the thing we're talking about. Last year, remember we brought up Dale. We were like, oh, they're gonna have to start selling people, and you got all mad that I brought that up last year and stuff like that. Now this year we can literally look at. And I don't even necessarily know buying's the right term here because you're going to get 3 guys back and other guys back healthy.
Yeah, they don't need to buy, but they can sell and stash.
Yeah,
sell and
exactly.
stash,
That's a good way of
and
putting
so
it. And then you're getting healthy guys back as well as it goes on. I think this is fantastic. I mean, I'll even go so far as to say is if Lawler comes back similar to what he went away with, his injury actually is probably the best thing that could have happened because now he's going to come back fresh and ready to play.
Well, I disagree with that because he
He needs to be at bats.
The thing that I felt that was, if you go back and watch his history, he never got consistency.
Yeah, that's what he needs.
And so now he was getting that consistency.
Mm-hmm.
You saw it in spring training. It carried over to the opening season. What did he play the first maybe 20, 25 games, something like that?
All the time. Yeah.
And the dude was hitting over 300.
Yeah.
And so he was getting consistent at bats and things. And so now it's almost like he's got to start all over again.
I get it. I get that side. That's what I'm saying. If he comes back and plays like he did before, guys don't come off of IL and play very well with this Diamondbacks team too often. So it is something we got to worry about. That's the other luxury. You can leave him in Reno a couple extra games and let him get a few more at-bats there. There's no reason to rush him back up here right now.
Yeah, and I'm starting to see Wall Smith looks like he's starting to come back down.
What you expect. Fernandez has come back down.
Yeah, you expect that. You expect that.
Yeah, Fernandez isn't the stud he was when he first came up, but you expect it. Now the question is, can you get him going again is the question.
I believe they'll go again, but then here's the deal. I think that it'll be one of those deals where it's a big learning situation for you as a major leaguer. They've made adjustments to you. How do you now come back? And so I like the poise and mental outlook of Fernandez. It seems like he doesn't get rattled by.
That's what I would say. All these young guys coming up, Walt Smith included, they don't get rattled.
Yeah.
We see that with Corbin Carroll and these young guys. That's kind of my issue. The Perdomos and Marte show they get rattled out there. These young kids are just like, let's go. Let's do this. It's amazing to watch with these young kids out there, and that's why I like these young guys out there and all of that stuff. So, guys, gentlemen, everybody out there, wrap it up here today. Appreciate everybody joining us as well. Coop, good to see you again.
So, Coop, your official pick for the NBA championship?
And the dreaded Spurs.
Okay. And for the hockey?
Jeez. It's got to be the Vegas. They're playing. I didn't know they had only lost one.
Carolina's on fire. Yeah. They didn't get a lot of press because they were on the Metropolitan and it sucked. I'm going with Vegas. I'll just tell you, I'm going with Vegas because what they did to Colorado, if they can duplicate that, the rest is a concern. But when Torch is your coach, Torch has a game plan going in tonight. Vegas is an older team. They're going to come into this game tonight and watch this. If they sneak out a Game 1 win in Carolina, they're going to win this series, and they're going to do what they did to Colorado, and it's going to be a beautiful thing to watch.
All right, I'm taking the 2 teams in the West.
Yeah. All right, here we go, folks. Everybody, Bruce Cooper, as always, comes and joins us. We appreciate it so much. So much fun having you here.
Indeed.
And unlike with Dale, it gets a little
It's old.
We'll see y'all tomorrow, of course. 8 o'clock here as well. Come and join us, would you?